I slid the new piston on the connecting rod. There's no rings or clips or nothing in it, but I wanted to get a base gasket, no base gasket reading. I ripped it, so I was hoping I wouldn't have to get too crazy. So I'm going to be doing a base gasket delete, but I also got to do machining on this, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But here's a piston stop. Figured I'd show you guys again on this to help those out that don't quite grasp it yet. So let's see here. Looks like it's in view. Thread your piston stop in. Gently turn this over until it stops. It should be about 32. There's 30. There's 2. You spin it gently back the other way, and I try to always turn it by the flywheel because you can sometimes move that on the wheel. And then right there, 32. So I know I'm centered. So we can take that out. And we'll know that that's bottom dead center. And we know that's top dead center. And everything's all zeroed out. So then I'll use a flashlight. And I'll spin this around. Now right there's 90 degrees. Some wheels read different than others. They might go all the way to 180 or whatever. That's not that big a deal because I know right there's 100. Right there's 110. This, if you look in there, should be around. Yep, I see my rail light. Because I've already checked this off camera, but this one opens at 105 with no base gasket. And then sounds like the neighbor kids are getting yelled at. The transfers open on this at 127. Unfortunately, I can't get in there to show you guys that. You just have to look through the plug hole and have your flashlight in here, and you can figure it out. And then come around here. Right there is just where that starts to crack open, and this is where I like this digital wheel that Dyno Joe does. If you guys want one of these, get a hold of Dyno Joe. I'm sure he'd be glad to help you out in that department. But I'll zero this out. This thing's very, very touchy. If I jiggle the saw at all, it'll make sure I didn't move nothing. And then I'll swing this all the way open, all the way back down to where it just shuts off right there. And we're at 145. I don't go unless that's over 6 on the point. I don't really worry about that. This got 105 or 145 degrees of exhaust, intake duration. So that's a little on the low side for what I like to do. So I've already checked on the wheel, but it's 72.5 for, if you're checking it on the wheel, and you just add it up if you don't got one of these. But I just thought I'd show that's how I use these. And then once again, I'm not concerned about exhaust duration or transfer duration. The only one I'm concerned about knowing the full duration on is the intake. That's all that matters to me. I used solder, and with no, I get people that ask me periodically if they can just do a base gasket. On some saws you can. If you pitch the base gasket, it takes enough thickness out and you can get your desired squish that you're after. This gasket's 20 thousandths thick. And even with 20 thousandths off with that, look how thick that is. This thing still has 45 thousandths squish. So I'm going to have to machine it. I'm probably going to cut 20 to 25 off the base, and then I'll recheck my numbers again, and then that'll let me know where I want to cutting that off the base is going to help the intake. It's going to lower the exhaust even more. I'm not sure where I want to bring this saw to yet, but so I just thought I'd show you guys that, and then when I get done doing the machining, I'll probably bring you guys back for that. But I wrote everything down on my trusty cardboard box. The squish is 45, base gasket was 20 thousandths thick, exhaust is 105, transfers are 127, intake 72.5, 145 degrees. So that's my stock numbers, and I'll let you know what I come up with. Alright guys, I cleaned up, I polished the top of the piston. I did polish the sides of the piston. That's a Red Barn piston. I think they must have tapered it a little bit wrong. It's a little bit fat on the skirt for going in. Let's see, where's my flashlight? I'll grab a pointer. I textured the transfers. I didn't move them, but I did come in and I cut me a groove right here and a little wing, and then I textured these to the desired texture I was looking for. So, but other than that, these are pretty much stock. They're plenty wide enough. They match up to the case good. Give it a little bean shape. I couldn't lung it because there's no, I don't lung them if the skirt isn't lower on that side. I moved it to 76 on the intake and moved it to 102 on the exhaust. I widened it just a scooch. I widened the intake a scooch too. I cut 25 off the base, which that's this area right here. So that should fix the squish. I'm going to do no base gasket on it. So essentially, without it's technically 45 off the base if you want to get technical of everything cut off. But I double checked my numbers. I think I'm going to roll with that 76 and 102. I think I'm going to work on putting this together, and then I'll bring you guys back. Right, guys, I don't know if you can see in there, but I had to hollow that out. That was quite the pain in the butt to do. This thing's all furnace brazed together on this Shindaiwa, but the muffler is hollowed out. And I did sandblast it because there was some rust inside of it, so I cleaned all the rust out of it. But that's done. I opened up this is still wet. I opened up the fish gills quite a bit, and I cut that weird reverberated back deflector off it. I will be still running a spark arrestor in this one, but it is pretty much put back together. I just got to wait for that paint to dry, and then I can see if it's going to run or not. I took a peek in the carburetor. The diaphragms are all soft. They move around, so I'm going to try to roll with it. But yep, let me set you guys up on the tripod here. For having a super cooked cylinder, which I don't know what I did with the piston. I mean, I got it on the intake side and completely cooked it there. It's got a Red Barn piston and rings in it, but it pumped up nicely for a damaged cylinder. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So I guess I will bring you back when I try to get it running. Well guys, there it is. I didn't go nothing crazy on the thing. I think I could have pushed the intake timing more, but I've never ported one of these, so it's a lot easier to start out small and work your way up, but going from 72.5 to 76, that's a jump anyway, and then going, you know, lowering the cylinder down pretty much 45 thousandths seemed to help it out. Don't think that red barn piston's the same weight as the other piston, but there's not much I can do about that. What this is doing out. But yeah, it's running. I got it tuned fat. These things are very hard to find parts for from what I'm seeing, so, but it's together, running. I'll have to find a barn chain. I'm not sure what fits it, but it went from a dead saw to a running saw, so hopefully we'll see how long it lasts with it, you know, pre-damaged cylinder. Well guys, it's not an over powerhouse or nothing. That's a brand new out of the box Oregon chain. So, but it went from a dead saw to a running saw. I guess I'll call that a win. I think it would have done better with a lower roof, but I can't change that now. You guys have a good one.